Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're here to sift through the sources and bring you the insights that matter. Today, we're digging into a bulletin from Haxhi Zeka University in Kosovo. It covers a really dynamic few months, May to July 2025. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding a university that's seriously committed to being modern, international, and really quality-focused. And honestly, the bulletin is packed with some surprising facts and successes. It paints a picture of a place really on the move.
Okay, so every institution needs a strong foundation, right? And for Haxhi Zeka University, or UHZ, that foundation just got a major boost. Let's start with their academic credentials. What's the big story there?
Well, the headline grabber, really, is the accreditation of their Business and Economics PhD program. That's at the Faculty of Business.
A PhD program. Okay, why is that so significant? It's huge because it makes UHC only the second university in Kosovo offering doctoral studies. The only other one is the University of Pristina. So this isn't just, adding another course. It fundamentally changes their ability to develop high-level researchers, compete for serious grants, and ultimately it helps Kosovo build more expertise to tackle complex problems. It's a real game changer for their academic standing and, frankly, for the country.
Got it. So a strategic move with national implications. And you said that PhD is kind of the headline. What else? Is this part of a bigger picture?
Absolutely. It's like the flagship achievement, but it sits on top of a much broader success. They actually got accreditation for 20 different study programs for the next academic year, 2025-2026.
20 programs, wow.
Yeah, 8 bachelors, 11 masters, and that new doctorate. It shows a really comprehensive effort to meet contemporary standards across the board.
Okay, impressive breadth. What about external validation? Are others recognizing this quality push?
They are, actually. And what's really fascinating here is the praise they got in the 2025 ORCA report. ORCA is the Organization for Quality Improvement in Education. They highlighted UHZ for academic integrity and scientific publications.
Integrity in publications. What does that mean in practical terms?
Well, UHZ had the highest percentage of professors whose academic titles, professor, doctor, were actually justified by recent solid scientific work, peer-reviewed research, original publications.
So they're not just teaching, they're actively contributing knowledge.
Exactly. It means the faculty are engaged, creating a dynamic environment. It's not just ticking boxes, it's about genuine scholarly activity. And interestingly, this success is tied to the HEI 25 project.
HEI 25?
Yeah, it's a higher education improvement initiative funded by the Austrian Development Agency, ADA. Shows how that international support can really help boost local quality.
That's a great connection. And this recognition isn't just local or regional, right? You mentioned global reach earlier.
That's right. For the second year in a row, UHZ made it into the Impact Rankings 2025. That's the Times Higher Education Rankings. These specifically look at how universities contribute to the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs.
And what's significant about UHZ being in these rankings?
Well, what's particularly noteworthy is that they are the only public university in Kosovo participating in this platform.
The only one, still.
Still the only one. It really underscores their commitment to aligning their mission with global challenges.
Which SDGs did they get recognized for?
It was quite a range this year. SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 4, quality education. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG 11, sustainable cities. And even SDG 14, life below water, plus other areas in the 1001 plus band.
So a broader impact than last year.
Definitely. A significant expansion compared to 2024. It shows they're deepening their engagement across multiple global issues.
Okay, so strong academic foundations, growing global recognition. But UHZ seems to be really pushing outwards internationally. Let's dig into that global footprint.
Yeah, they've been incredibly active. A major highlight was the 4th International Summer University, they call it UNISM 2025, ran from late June into mid-July.
UNISM 2025, what was special about it?
Well, they used this really innovative hybrid format. The first week was online, which maximizes reach, and the second week was physical, on campus. This flexibility helped bring together over 100 students and professors from more than 10 countries. Think Finland, France, Poland, Turkey, the US. A real mix.
Sounds vibrant. What did they study?
They offered 11 multidisciplinary courses, all focused on big global challenges. Things like the green economy, digital finance, really relevant stuff.
That does sound like a powerful learning environment. And was that the only major international event?
Not at all. Just before UNISM wrapped up, from July 10th to 13th, they hosted the International Conferences, July 2025. This drew researchers from over 21 countries. They presented more than 100 scientific papers.
100 papers. Across what fields?
Pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Economics, law, technology, a real melting pot of research.
So big events drawing people in. What about partnerships and visits?
Lots happening there, too. They had a delegation visit from the University of Iowa, for example.
Wow. What was the focus?
Really interesting, actually. They were exploring using artificial intelligence, AI, for labor market analysis. The idea is to use AI to figure out what skills are needed and then design new study programs around that. Very forward-thinking.
Using AI to shape the curriculum.
Yeah.
Smart. Any other key visits?
Yes, a significant meeting with Finland's ambassador to Kosovo, Matti Nisinen. They discussed potential joint study programs, staff and student exchanges, maybe some collaborative research, building those diplomatic and academic bridges.
And it seems they're not just joining existing networks, they're actually helping create new ones.
Exactly. On May 21st, U8Z became a co-founder of INSPIRE. It stands for the International Network for Sustainability Policy and Research in Economics. So, positioning themselves right at the heart of sustainability research, and on the very same day, they signed a Memorandum of Understanding with West Kemirai University in Romania, WUT. That's for Student and Staff Mobility Joint Research Conferences, building concrete ties.
So, founding networks, signing MOUs, these sound like solid structural steps. Are there practical collaborations happening too?
Definitely. For instance, UHC hosted a 2-day anti-corruption workshop. They brought in students and professors from Haxhi University in the Netherlands.
Anti-corruption, what did they focus on?
Sharing best practices, essentially. How to prevent it, how to combat it, fostering transparency and integrity. It's about building practical skills for ethical leadership.
That's crucial, and presumably all this international activity creates opportunities for UHZ's own students to get out there.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge part of it. We saw UHC staff and master's students go on a week-long study visit to Vetmeduni Vienna in Austria.
Vienna, for what kind of training?
Very specific practical stuff. Chemical food analysis labs. They got hands-on training with advanced equipment, HPLC MSMS techniques.
Okay, HPLC MSMSS sounds technical.
It is. Think highly precise tools for detecting tiny amounts of substances in food. Really important for food safety and quality control. Gives them cutting-edge skills.
Impressive. Any other student mobility examples?
Quite a few, actually. Academic staff went to Vasa, Finland for training as part of an Erasmus Plus project called Green WB. That focused on green skills and linking universities with businesses. Then, remember that anti-corruption workshop with Haxhi University. UHZ students also participated in a follow-up workshop and study visit over in the Netherlands, again through Erasmus Plus Mayday.
So multiple Erasmus Plus connections.
Yes, and there's an ongoing semester mobility program right now for their agribusiness students. They're studying at the University of Opel in Poland. Great global experience for them.
Poland, Netherlands, Finland, Austria. And you mentioned AI earlier. Any digital focus?
Yes. They also participated in Digital Week 2025 in Nice, France, showing they're plugged into the whole digital transformation conversation in education. It's a really comprehensive international engagement strategy.
Okay, that's a whirlwind tour of their global activities. Incredibly busy. But let's bring it back home. How does all this connect to the local community in Kosovo, particularly the Dukagjini region where U8Z is based? What's the impact on the ground?
Right, that's the crucial link. And we can start with a really positive moment. The graduation ceremony 2025 held on June 10th. It was a big event in Peja, celebrating the bachelor and master students finishing their studies. The rector, Professor Dr. Armand Kresniki, was there, and so was Kosovo's Prime Minister, Albin Kurti.
The Prime Minister attending, that certainly highlights the university's regional importance.
Absolutely. It reinforces their role as a key institution, producing the region's future professionals and leaders.
And beyond ceremonies, is the university actively using its expertise to tackle local challenges?
Yes, definitely. A good example is a research report from UHC's Institute for Science and Arts. They did an exclusive study on the accommodation industry hotels, guest houses in the Dukagjini region.
What did they find?
They identified some key problems: a lack of professional training for staff, infrastructure gaps, and a disconnect between what the market needs and what's being offered. But importantly, the report also highlighted untapped potential, especially for collaboration between the university and the private sector to fix these issues.
So identifying problems and potential solutions, that sounds like what people call the university's third mission, right? Community impact.
Exactly that. And they showcased this mission at a Ministry of Regional Development conference back on May 7th. The pro-rector, Dr. Olmashehu, and Professor Exavit Rexaj presented on how universities can help promote cultural heritage for regional development. They even pointed to a practical tool they helped develop.
A tool?
Yeah, the Tourism Barometer. Developed by UHEs along with Terra World, it provides data-driven insights for the tourism sector, a concrete example of applying academic expertise locally.
Speaking of tourism and tech, I heard something about an AI guide.
Ah, yes. That's a really neat innovation. UHC's own Idea Lab, working with Terra again, developed a new AI-powered digital tourism guide specifically for Kosovo.
AI-powered? How does it work?
It's pretty sophisticated, it's multilingual, and you can personalize your trip recommendations for the Dukagjini Plain based on interests like history, culture, nature, food, even your budget.
Personalized recommendations, okay.
But the really unique part is its automatic coordination system. It linked you up with certified local guides, hotels, restaurants, transport providers, basically smoothing out the whole visitor experience.
Yeah.
Like a virtual concierge powered by AI.
Wow, that's genuinely innovative. What about supporting local businesses more broadly, beyond tourism?
You're working on that too. The rector had a meeting with local NGOs from the Dukagjini region, and they unveiled plans for a new business incubator right there at UHC.
A business incubator? On campus?
Yes. It's got support from the Ministry of Industry and the municipality of Peja. The goal is to nurture business ideas from students and local youth, providing mentorship, networking, a real launchpad for startups.
That sounds like a direct investment in local entrepreneurship. Is there a focus on green innovation as well? You mentioned green skills earlier.
There is. On May 20th, they held a Green Ideas competition as part of something called the EcoPulse project. Students came up with smart solutions for things like recycling and energy efficiency. Really creative stuff.
And what happens to those ideas?
Well, the university is planning an innovation center on campus. The idea is that winning concepts from competitions like this can be developed further, maybe as pilot projects within that new business incubator we just discussed, creating a pathway from green idea to green business.
A nice synergy there. Any other projects connecting education to local needs?
Yes, they completed a project focused on identifying industry needs in the Dukagjini region. This was funded by the Ministry of Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation, MASH-HTI. It directly aimed to bridge the gap between higher education and what the local job market actually requires.
How did they do that?
Through targeted research, but also practical training. They trained people in using data analysis software, like SPSS, so they could better understand and respond to labor market trends, equipping people with relevant skills.
Right, data skills are crucial everywhere now. And you mentioned one more event, something about inclusion.
Yes, a really unique seminar called Values, Sport, and Special Needs, held on May 3rd at the Law Faculty. The key speaker was Elting Curl Gianfranco Paglia, a former Italian soldier who was seriously injured in Somalia.
What was his message?
Incredibly inspiring. He talked about how physical obstacles aren't endings, but can be starting points for achieving even higher goals. He really emphasized sport and education as powerful tools for integration and empowerment for people with special needs.
That sounds powerful. Really speaks to the university's role beyond just academics and economics.
Exactly. It shows a commitment to human potential in all its forms.
And that commitment seems to extend into arts and culture too, doesn't it? It wasn't just science and business making headlines?
Not at all. The Arts Faculty Choir had a magnificent success. Between May 22nd and 25th, they went to the 14th International Choir Competition in Zadar, Croatia.
An international choir competition. How did they do?
They did brilliantly. They brought home the second prize, competing against choirs from places like Italy and Slovenia.
Second prize. That's fantastic.
It really is a huge testament to the students' talent and hard work, and they were fantastic ambassadors for Kosovo on that international stage. A real point of pride.
Wonderful. And wasn't there an individual artistic achievement on the global stage as well?
Yes, indeed. Professor Adelina Peloja, she's a faculty member in the arts. She gave an unforgettable concert in Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo. Wow. What did she perform?
She specifically showcased Albanian culture. Works by renowned Albanian composers, traditional Albanian songs, really representing her country's artistic heritage.
A cultural ambassador through music. That's lovely. So when you pull it all together, It's genuinely impressive. In just 3 months, May to July 2025, we've seen major academic accreditation rising in global rankings.
Huge international partnerships, student exchanges all over Europe.
Local innovation with AI tourism guides and business incubators, tackling green challenges.
And even winning awards in international arts competitions and performing in Japan.
It really feels like Haxhi Zeka University is firing on all cylinders. They're clearly making these huge strides towards being that modern, internationally connected, quality-driven institution they aim to be.
Absolutely. And looking at all this activity, it does raise a pretty interesting question, doesn't it?
Go on.
Well, considering this incredibly diverse range of initiatives, from PhDs to AI guides to international choirs, how can a university like Haxhi Zeka continue to be this kind of engine for holistic regional development? And how can it keep fostering this level of international collaboration, especially as things like AI and green tech become even more dominant, pushing beyond what we traditionally think of as a university's role?
That's a really potent question. How do you sustain and deepen that impact across so many fronts? Something for all of us, and maybe universities everywhere, to think about. We hope this deep dive gave you some real insight into the dynamic world of Haxhi Zeka University. Perhaps it even inspires you to look at how institutions in your own area are driving change. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.